Good morning. Is it still morning? Yeah, just about 5 to 12 on the 14th of October. I've literally completely forgot to do a post BNBF Finals video. I did one before and literally it was just head down and continue on with the prep. So yeah, I'll do one now. Basically. So I tried something a little bit more extreme for the finals, because after I'd done every show this year, I'd got home, I'd got home, I'd eaten a huge bowl of oats and berries and dried fruit, and before I'd gone to bed, I filled out massively, I had veins everywhere, woken up the next morning, I've looked incredible, and I thought, well, I've missed the boat on these previous shows. I'm obviously not full enough before I go on stage. So what do? I bring all those calories that I've been taking post-show and I bring them forward to pre-show. So I carb loaded more than I have done for other shows. Basically, I did 1,000 grams on the Thursday, 1,000 grams on the Friday, 800 on the Saturday, and then about 500 on the Sunday, 430, 500 on Sunday, between morning and evening, it depends, morning show and the evening show. And basically I just spill. Spilling is when you can no longer fill the muscle anymore. It's not drawing in any of the carbohydrate and water. I've read a couple of things that the carbs are going into muscle and they're replacing the intercellular water in the muscle, which is why the carbs go in and it squeezes water out and it just flushes you over. I don't know which one is true. Either way, the same result. I was smooth. I laid backstage for an hour before, my feet up, as I always tend to do, to try and release fluid from your legs, and took my socks off about an hour before going on stage, and I had these huge rings around my ankles, and you can see it from the pictures on stage. I've got these really lean feet up to about there on my ankle, and then it's just completely washed out. There's veins going up and then stop, dead. So yeah, I spilt. For some reason, I spilt on all of the carbohydrate. I mean, it wasn't excessive compared to what I've had at previous shows, but it was more. And in terms of what I've eaten at previous shows, including post-show, it looked better. It wasn't excessive. So what happened? God knows. Nobody knows. But you could see that the damage was done pre-judging, in the morning part of the show. And so I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything from 2 PM coming off the morning show, the pre-judging, to getting on stage at 8:30, 8:45, didn't eat anything. And I looked a bit better, but there's only so much you could do to pull back a spill. So if you're spilling and you catch it early enough, then you could probably rectify some of it. If you don't catch it early enough, you're in trouble. The problem is, can you catch a spill early enough when you're covered in dark tan the night before or the day, and the lighting is terrible? Because as soon as you tan up, before you get on stage, it washes you out regardless. It's very hard to see what you're about to present until you pump up backstage, you get some fluids in you, you get some pre-stage carbs in you, and you get under them lights. You can't see an awful lot until you get under them lights, and then you get a good feel for what is about to happen. You get a bit of a feel when you're pumping up backstage, you get a little bit of a look at how much you're filling out as you're pumping up, but you know, as always with me, I don't ever get a pump backstage. I just can't do it. I'm trying everything. I've tried half an hour's worth of pumping up. I've tried 40 minutes worth of pumping up. I've tried 10 minutes worth of pumping up. I've tried heavy weight, as heavy as possible, but then you've got to lug like a 20 kg, 25 kg dumbbell or two around with you all day. I've tried bands. At the end of the day, I'm a heavyweight. I'm quite a big guy, and unless I'm balls to the fucking floor going at it in the gym, I just don't get a very good pump. I can't stand there with a little tiny 5-10 kilos and all of a sudden just look incredible like a lot of these other guys around me. It just doesn't happen. I've got to go balls to the wall with some serious weight in order to get any type of pump that I would representative from a gym, for example. I need a full gym to get a pump, and unless I'm training at, you know, or competing at Mr. Olympia, I'm probably never going to get that. So it's damage limitation, and it's doing the best with the tools I have, essentially. But yeah, to go from the pre-night before video, my goal was to qualify for the World Finals. I missed that goal purely on the prep before it. On my day, if I'd looked my best, would I have qualified? Probably not. I was disappointed, I was upset, I wanted to look. What was more important to me was to look the best I've ever looked and know that I'd done everything I could, and this was the pinnacle of my on-season. And I got on stage, and as soon as I got off in the morning, it wasn't the pinnacle of my on-season. I looked better at the NPA, I looked better at the UK DFBA, even though I spilled for that slightly as well. And I probably looked better for the qualifier, the BNBF Southern qualifier, which was 2 months earlier. At least Vicky thought so, Vicky McCann. She said so in the report. But, so it was disappointing. But unless you try new things, and you see what works, you see what doesn't, I thought that after 10, 11, 12 shows I'd have this nailed. And to be quite honest with you, I simply don't. I don't have my prep nailed. I've got one more show to do. I'm 8 days out. UK DFBA International Finals. And I'm not going to go as heavy on the carbs because I know I look better post-show, dirty meals and things like that, but it only lasts for a real short window. If I went and had an Indian or a burger or a pizza an hour before show, will it work? Maybe. Will it last and look good 10 minutes before I go on stage and last for the duration? Maybe, maybe not. Or will I look good on the way to the venue after eating it and then look terrible 5 minutes before going on stage? Maybe. Am I willing to risk it? No. I couldn't risk it. All that hard work. I mean, once you have a dirty meal and you nail all those calories, there is no going back. There is no going back. If you look great, then fine. If you don't, you look really bad. There are times I've woken up the next morning and I've looked great for 20 minutes. Really unbelievable. And then, whew, nothing. Then I look worse. So, risk it? Nah. All I'm going to do is increase my carbs slightly. I'm heavily dieting right now. I'm going for it. The last week has been the hardest of my prep, and I've got another week to go, so I'm digging deep. And I'm going to increase my carbs slightly. Last thing I want to do is spill. I think I look slightly better being slightly tighter at previous shows. Depends what my condition is come Wednesday, Thursday next week as to how much I risk adding back in. But yeah, as I said in the pre-show night before video, that was my goal. I wasn't underconfident, I wasn't overconfident. I'm just being honest with you guys that was the target, and unfortunately I missed it. But you know, you live and learn, and before you win you've got to fail. And it's not been a bad season so far. I've competed in 12 shows to date. This is my 4th competitive season. I am a heavyweight title holder. I am a regional overall title holder, as we can see. I've qualified for 3 different British finals under 3 federations this year. I did qualify for 2 different federations in 2015. I am not a bad bodybuilder. And I've done pretty well today. I would consider being doing pretty well. I'm not blowing my own trumpet at all, but sometimes a little bit of reflection, and when you're in this mindset and you've been prepping for so long, it's very difficult to keep yourself motivated and keep your positivity levels up. So sometimes you've got to remind yourself what you've actually achieved in order to keep going and to keep driven and to keep pressing on when things really are difficult. So yeah, 8 days out from the next one. I'll do a night before video as normal, and that will be the last one of the year. But there's the post-show BNBF, my personal opinions of it, what happened, what went wrong, what went right, not an awful lot really. I just had a really good time. It was enjoyable to say the least, even though, you know, it was a bad weekend. It was still nice to go to Birmingham, spend the weekend there. Yeah, it was nice to have a burger after, although I held quite a lot of water, around 6 kg after, for about 5, 6, 7, 8 days. We're now 13 days after. I've dropped that water now. Lightest of all prep this morning, 86.0. Let's try and get into the 85s before, at least 85.6 would be probably my goal before next weekend. So let's go. Thanks very much. Cheers.